Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. Conflict in West Asia escalates. Iran launches around 200 missiles towards Israel. Netanyahu vows retaliation.
We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
World leaders condemned Iranian missile strikes on Israel, call for de-escalation of conflict. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with US counterpart Anthony Blinken in Washington. The talks focus on deepening bilateral ties, West Asia situation and global challenges. India's cleanliness drive Swachh Bharat Mission completes 10 years. Prime Minister Modi to launch and lay foundation stone of several projects to mark the occasion. An International Day of Non-Violence is being observed on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The prospect of an all-out direct war between two of the most powerful militaries in West Asia became more likely after Iran fired roughly 200 ballistic missiles at Israel, drawing strong reactions from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said, and I quote, "Iran made a big mistake and will pay for it." Israel's military signaled it would retaliate, though it didn't provide details on how and when it's going to respond. The Pentagon said that Israel intercepted the majority of the missiles and that there was minimal damage on the ground. Washington said that it would work with longtime ally Israel to make sure Iran faced severe consequences for Tuesday's attack. The escalation comes days after Israel killed the leader of the Iran-backed Hezbollah and sent troops into Lebanon.
Iran made a big mistake tonight, and it will pay for it. The regime in Iran does not understand our determination to defend ourselves and our determination to retaliate against our enemies. Sinwar and Deif didn't understand it. Nasrallah and Mosul didn't understand it. Apparently, there are those in Tehran who do not understand this either. They will understand. We will keep to the rule we have determined. Whoever attacks us, we attack them.
Iran, which promised a crushing response if Israel retaliate, cancelled flights across the country until mid-morning Wednesday. Iran's armed forces, the Chief of Staff, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, has threatened to repeat Tehran's attack against Israel and target its infrastructure. Speaking on state television, Bagheri said that the operation would be repeated several times stronger if Israel retaliated.
If the Zionist regime that has gone crazy is not controlled by America and Europe and wants to continue these crimes or wants to do anything against our sovereignty and territorial integrity, tonight's operation will be repeated several times stronger and all their infrastructure will be targeted.
Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council has called an emergency meeting on the Middle East on Wednesday at around 1400 hours GMT. And the European Union has also called for an immediate ceasefire. In a letter to the Council, Israel's envoy to the UN, Danny Danon, has accused Iran of trying to destroy Israel with a ring of fire from 7 fronts. Danon, in fact, urged the Security Council to condemn the move and designate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC, as a terrorist organization. The United States stands strong with Tel Aviv after Tehran fired a salvo of ballistic missiles at Israel on Tuesday. The U.S. President Joe Biden has reaffirmed his country's support for Israel and described the barrage as defeated and ineffective, and ordered the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against any future assaults.
The United States military actively supported the defense of Israel, and we're still assessing the impact. But based on what we know now, the attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective. And this is testament to Israeli military capability and U.S. military. It's also a testament to intensive planning between the United States and Israel to anticipate and defend against the brazen attack we expected. Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
The U.S. Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris called Iran a dangerous and destabilizing force in the Middle East.
I condemn this attack unequivocally. I'm clear-eyed. Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East.
And let's go across now to Vijay Ghat, which is the memorial of Lal Bahadur Shastri. This is Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, who is at the Samadhi of Lal Bahadur Shastri, India's second Prime Minister. Today also marks the birth anniversary of Lal Bahadur Shastri, along with birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. We do recall that Lal Bahadur Shastri is the one who gave us the slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Now moving on, the US had called on every nation in the world to join it in condemning Iran's attack on Israel. Let's listen, in fact.
With direct assistance from the United States and its partners, was able to successfully defeat this attack. This was a brazen, unacceptable attack by Iran, and every nation in the world must join us in condemning it.
The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also said that Britain stands with Israel after Iran launched a wave of missiles in retaliation for Israel's incursion into Lebanon.
I utterly condemn this attempt by the Iranian regime to harm innocent Israelis. We stand with Israel and we recognise her right to self-defence in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah. Iran has menaced the Middle East for far too long.
India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar expressed deep concern about the broadening conflicts in West Asia and anything that happens between Iran and Israel.
We are very much concerned at the possibility of a broadening of the conflict, not just what happened in Lebanon, but also, I referred earlier to the Houthis and the Red Sea. And, to some extent, anything that happens between Iran and Israel. So, again, it's one thing to be concerned. I'm sure you can say that for a lot of countries. If, as part of that concern, you can end up doing something about it, again, don't underestimate the importance of communication in difficult times. If there are things to be said and passed on and passed back, I think those are...
And we are going across now once again to Rajghat, the Samadhi of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. President Draupadi Murmu is paying her respects to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, on his 155th birth anniversary.
No Hindu Raj. It will be Bharati Raj, based not on the majority of any religious sect or community, but on representatives of the whole people without distinction of religion.
Well, we all remember Mahatma Gandhi, who was the champion of non-violence at a time especially like this, when the world is facing conflict of various kinds, and especially also the conflict that the whole world faces with nature and climate change. Mahatma Gandhi was an advocate of minimum use, and he had once said that the world has enough for everybody's need, but not for everybody's greed. Gandhiji also talked about choosing righteous paths, whether for a nation or for a single man, because the means can never justify the end. For bad means can never bring about good ends, is what Mahatma Gandhi said. Remember that Mahatma Gandhi was called Bapu, or father. We also understand the importance of the charka, the spinning wheel, which Mahatma Gandhi referred to as a strengthening of India's self-reliance, which Prime Minister Modi has also taken forward with Atmanirbhar Bharat. Also, Prime Minister Modi highlighting on the cleanliness drive, which is Swachh Bharat, which has now turned 10 years, in fact, as of today.
जल थल सागर पूर रहा है भटकत फिरे उदासी जल थल सागर पूर रहा है भटकत फिरे उदासी.
The charka illustrates a major tenet of Mahatma Gandhi. When individually considered, man is insignificant, even like a drop of water. But in the mass, as it spins along, he becomes mighty and powerful like the ocean.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे पर दुखे उपकार करे तोए पर दुखे उपकार करे तोए मन अभिमान
This is one of the favorite hymns of Mahatma Gandhi, Vaishnava Janato, and it implies about a good person being one who feels the pain of others, one who helps those in misery and does not let pride enter his or her mind. A good human being tolerates and praises the entire world and does not say bad things about anyone, keeps his or her words and actions and thoughts pure. And to such a person, your mother is blessed. It's a 15th century poem in Gujarati. President of India there paying tribute to Mahatma Gandhi on his 155th birth anniversary. We're taking a short break, and then when we come back, we'll be continuing with the news. Stay with us. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. And to get us more on this story about Iran firing about 200 ballistic missiles towards Israel, and it's drawn a strong reaction from the world community. We have with us Akshay Dongre, who's following the story. Well, Akshay, of course, the attempt had failed, and the world community has, come out in strong condemnation against Iran. But if we put this into context, it has definitely raised tensions in the region, and now, methods are afoot to try and, bring in a diplomatic solution.
Well, Mark, from the first impression of this attack, many would say that the attempt has failed because there was no significant damage to lives or property in Israel. But it also depends on who is talking about this attack. For Iran, this was a success, especially the Iranian government. This was a huge success. In fact, there was increasing pressure from domestic elements as far as the attacks against Hezbollah are concerned, the killing of either the Hamas chief or Hezbollah chief or Soleimani, the commander of the Iranian guards, that was also assassinated by Israel. So there was a lot of increasing pressure on the Iranian government, the new president or even the supreme leader, because when he was taken to safety after the assassination of Hezbollah chief Nasrallah, there was increasing pressure on and questions being raised from within Iran that what exactly is the supreme leader doing and why is Iran not taking action against Israel. So, in a way, from diplomatic point of view, Iran has achieved both the targets. They have not attacked Israel so significantly that it attracts an immediate retaliation. And as far as the home front is concerned, they have done enough damage to Israel to show to the people of Iran that they are capable of directly hitting Israel if Iran's interests are harmed.
Yes, indeed.
So,
but Akshay,
right.
Both sides have now, upped the ante as far as rhetoric is concerned. We've heard Netanyahu saying that, the rule of that they follow is if you attack us, we attack you back, and worse. And we've also heard the Iranian army chief saying that they're going to go in to destroy infrastructure the next time round. So it is an escalation, clear escalation of this conflict. Of course, there is already the situation with Lebanon. How is this, the UN Security Council is going to be meeting today. What's the best way forward? I mean, they can't just urge these parties to sit down and talk.
Well, Mark, as far as the United Nations Security Council is concerned, all of the countries, be it the United States, China, Russia, France, or the UK, all of them have been urging for a ceasefire between these hostilities that have been going around. Now, you look at the situation that has now come up about in the Middle East. Israel has already eliminated the top leadership of Hezbollah. So at the home front for domestic politics, because Benjamin Netanyahu was also coming increasingly under pressure from his domestic audience as far as the return of hostages are concerned. So Israel has already inflicted, a significant damage on Hezbollah. That has achieved one. Israel has achieved one target, and as far as Iran is concerned, they have attacked Israel with about 200 ballistic missiles. So both of the countries have inflicted some damage on the adversary. So this is the perfect time for any major power to come in and in fact urge both the parties that you have had your revenge, and now let's break away from this conflict that's going on. Because Mark, one thing is very sure, that Iran, which can fire 200 ballistic missiles, does not only have 200 ballistic missiles. They have a much larger stockpile of missiles, probably in thousands, that if they want can mobilize and attack Israel easily. They attacked with only 200 ballistic missiles, and all of them were intercepted by the Iron Dome and the US forces. If it overwhelms the Iron Dome, it has to attack with more ballistic missiles that it is perfectly capable of. So that is one point. As far as Israel is concerned, Israel also have fifth generation fighter aircraft that can in fact enter Iranian airspace and inflict significant damage on Iranian territory. So it is a mutually assured destruction that both the countries are looking at. The top leadership does realize that. They do realize that yes, a war has been going on. The domestic audience is quite angry, so they have to take some action. But as far as going all out about as far as war is concerned, that still does not seem like a viable option. Israel is a very small country. If the neighboring countries, including Syria, Iran, there is Yemen, there is Iraq, all of these countries attack Israel, simultaneously, they do realize that they can and in fact overwhelm the security setting in Israel. And Iran does realize that if US and Israel hit back, they can also inflict significant damage on the country. So it seems that this is the right time for some sort of ceasefire. Back to you.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Akshay Dongre with an update on the Iranian attack on Israel. Now, moving on, explosions were heard and smoke could be seen rising from buildings near the airport in the Lebanese capital of Beirut in the early hours of Wednesday. The Israeli military said that it was striking Hezbollah targets in Beirut. The Israeli military had issued new orders for evacuation in the southern suburbs of Beirut early on Wednesday, warning in a statement that it will be hit, that it's going to hit Hezbollah targets in buildings there. Well, here's a quick update now on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where Russian troops have reached the center of Vuhledar, which is a bastion on the strategic high ground in eastern Ukraine on Tuesday. Footage posted on social media showed Russian soldiers waving a flag from atop a bombed-out military, in fact, it's a multi-story building, and they unfurled another flag on a metal spire on a roof. Smoke was rising over the ruins of a small mining town. The regional governor of Ukraine's Donetsk region, Vadim Flaskin, has also said the situation is very difficult. The Russian forces reached the outskirts of Vuhledar last week and also intensified their recent onslaught. Vuhledar has, in fact, strategic significance because it's high ground and it's also located near a junction of two main fronts. On to other news now. The U.S. vice presidential candidates Tim Walz and J.D. Vance debated each other in New York, with the pair clashing on topics of West Asia conflict, immigration, taxes, climate change, and energy. In almost 100 minutes of debate between the two adversaries. The first question related to the ongoing conflict in West Asia, to which Democrat Walz argued that the former President Donald Trump is too unstable to be trusted at a time of crisis. And his Republican opponent for the country's #2 office, J.D. Vance, responded by asserting that Trump had made the world more secure during his tenure in office. Vance also questioned Harris's intention to address inflation, immigration and the economy while serving in President Joe Biden's administration. Walz spoke on the issue of immigration, attacking Trump on pressuring Republicans in Congress to abandon a bipartisan border security bill earlier this year. With no more debates planned, the standoff allowed Walz and Vance to make their arguments on behalf of their campaigns, just as early voting ramps up across the country. And Amit Mukherjee was following that debate for us, and now he joins us. Amit, so covered a vast number of topics, but early voting has already begun in the United States. What sort of an impact has this debate had?
Well, right, Mark. In fact, voting has already begun in about 20 states right now. But one thing was very, very clear. It was anti-incumbency, which the Biden administration was kind of facing as far as this debate, vice presidential debate was concerned. And Senator J.D. Vance made it very, very clear that, if Kamala Harris's team has got a lot of plans, why aren't they implementing at this stage when they are currently in the government? They are at the helm of affairs. If they are so bothered about the Americans, why is it that they are not implementing all those plans which they are talking about that they would do once they come back to power? So clearly it was anti-incumbency which the Kamala Harris administration was facing during this during this vice presidential debate. Now, another thing which came up very, in fact, in detail was the healthcare system that that is actually is an issue for a lot of Americans, because the rising insurance costs, the kind of premiums they have to pay for the healthcare, and also those who are with pre-existing conditions, are they able to deal with do they have really access to quality healthcare services? Now, those are some of the questions that Senator J.D. Vance had actually put before Governor Tim Walz during the debate. And it very came out clearly that, of course, there are issues. There are quite a number of issues that are plaguing American households right now, which needs to be answered, for which, this presidential election that is going to happen on the 5th of November. So, Mark,
right, Amit, we are cutting you short for a moment because we are going across to Vijay Ghat, where President Draupadi Murmu is paying homage to India's second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri, on his birth anniversary today. Remember Lal Bahadur Shastri. He breathed his last, as we remember, in Tashkent in 1966. But he'd given us a number of important quotations which are still being used today. In fact, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan is his slogan, which resonates all across the country. It means hail soldier, hail farmer. He always believed in a strong nation and the importance of both agriculture as well as security of the nation through the defense forces. And it is appropriate that he shares a birthday with Mahatma Gandhi because he was also a staunch Gandhian. Because he believed in Swaraj, which is what Mahatma Gandhi also vouched for. Okay, we're going to take a short break now at this point in time, but we'll be coming back with more news. In fact, you're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Now, India and Jamaica witnessed a groundbreaking moment as Prime Minister Andrew Holness held a bilateral visit. This was his first bilateral visit to India by a Jamaican Prime Minister, in fact. And the visit was set to strengthen ties between the two countries, expanding cooperation in multiple sectors. Here's a report.
India and Jamaica have traditionally enjoyed cordial and friendly relations based on common linkages of history, parliamentary democracy, membership of the Commonwealth, as well as love of cricket. The diplomatic ties between India and Jamaica are flourishing since 1962. India-Jamaica ties have even got stronger now with Prime Minister Andrew Holness' visit to India. This is the first ever bilateral visit by a Jamaican Prime Minister to India. Emphasizing the importance of Jamaican PM's visit, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated that India is ready to share its experience with Jamaica.
आज पहली बार जमैका के प्रधानमंत्री की भारत की द्विपक्षीय यात्रा पर आए हैं। इसलिए हम इस यात्रा को विशेष महत्व देते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री होलनेस लंबे समय से भारत के मित्र रहे हैं। मुझे कई बार उनसे मिलने का अवसर मिला है और हर बार मैंने उनके विचारों में भारत के साथ संबंधों को मजबूत करने की प्रतिबद्धता को महसूस किया है।
PM Modi emphasized that the relations between India and Jamaica are based on 4 C's: culture, cricket, Commonwealth and CARICOM.
4 C's हमारे संबंधों को अंकित करते हैं: कल्चर, क्रिकेट, कॉमनवेल्थ और कैरिकॉम। आज की बैठक में हमने सभी क्षेत्रों में अपना सहयोग सुदृढ़ करने पर विचार किया और कई नए इनिशिएटिव्स की पहचान की।
While lavishing praise on Indian community residing in Jamaica, PM Modi said that people of Indian origin who consider Jamaica as their home are a living example of our cultural heritage.
लगभग 180 वर्ष पहले भारत से जो लोग जमैका गए थे, उन्होंने हमारे पीपल टू पीपल टैग की मजबूत नींव रखी थी। आज जमैका को अपना घर मानने वाले लगभग 70,000 भारतीय मूल के लोग हमारी साझा विरासत का प्रत्यक्ष उदाहरण है।
PM Holness thanked India for its support for providing vaccines during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I must convey on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica our sincere gratitude to the government and people of India for the tremendous support provided to us during our time of need as part of your vaccine friendship scheme. We are immensely grateful that we could count on India as a true friend and partner.
Both the nations signed 4 agreements during the bilateral meeting. These are MOU in the field of sharing successful digital public infrastructure aimed at promoting financial inclusion and social and economic transformation. MOU on e-payments between NPCI International Payments Limited and eGov Jamaica Limited. MOU on cultural exchange program between India and Jamaica for 2024-2029. MOU on cooperation in sports. India was one of the first countries to recognize Jamaica after it became an independent nation. Both countries are members of multilateral and international organizations like NAM, G77, WIPO, UN and its various subsidiary bodies. Bureau Report, TG India.
India's cleanliness drive Swachh Bharat Mission completes 10 years. Initiated in 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mission is one of the most significant mass movements for cleanliness in the world. Prime Minister Modi will launch and lay the foundation stone now for several projects related to sanitation and cleanliness to mark the occasion.
At the landmark event of Swachh Bharat Divas 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch and lay the foundation stone for several sanitation and cleanliness projects. These projects collectively worth over $960 million. It includes initiatives under Amrut and Amrut 2.0, the National Mission for Clean Ganga and the Govardhan Scheme.
मोदी जी का सपना है, उनका एक टारगेट भी है कि विकसित भारत बनाना है। विकसित भारत के सपने को साकार करने के साथ साथ देश में स्वच्छता का भी संदेश जाना चाहिए। इसीलिए स्वाभाविक रूप से ये कार्यक्रम 10 साल जब पूर्ण करने के समय पर एक बहुत अच्छे माहौल के साथ जो अपनी पूर्णता की ओर जा रहा है। अभी तो काम करना बाकी है, बहुत सा काम हुआ है। उस काम में क्वालिटी में भी हम और सुधार हो जाए और टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग हो जाए, उसके लिए हम सब कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
Among these, over $680 million will go towards improving urban water and sewage systems under Amrut and Amrut 2.0. Additionally, $155 million will be dedicated to enhancing water quality and waste management in Ganga basin areas. As part of the National Mission for Clean Ganga, the Prime Minister will also inaugurate 15 compressed biogas plants, projects worth approximately $133 million under the Govardhan scheme, all aimed at boosting sanitation and clean energy initiatives.
Sanitation started as a journey towards becoming open defecation free. There is very significant change that has happened in people's behavior and in a sustainable manner. The emphasis is on overall solid and liquid waste management. A lot of work is going into proper management of fecal sludge at treatment facilities, STPs, FSTPs, etc.
The Swachh Bharat program will highlight India's decade-long achievements in sanitation and cleanliness, as well as the outcomes of the recent Swachhta Hi Seva campaign. This year's theme, Swabhav Swachhta, Sanskar Swachhta, continues to resonate with millions across the country, emphasizing both personal responsibility and cultural values in maintaining cleanliness. With these new projects and an unwavering commitment to cleanliness, India is setting the stage for the next phase of Swachh Bharat Mission, ensuring that the movement continues to thrive and inspire. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit the East Indian state of Jharkhand on Wednesday. Prime Minister is going to lay the foundation stone and launch and inaugurate various projects in Hazaribagh. In line with his commitment to ensure comprehensive and holistic development of the tribal communities across the country, the Prime Minister will launch the Dharti Abha Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan. Now, the mission will cover around 63 villages which benefit more than 50 million tribal people across 30 states and union territories. This initiative aims to uplift tribal-dominated villages and will economically empower tribal populations. India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar met the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in Washington, D.C. And during this meeting, both leaders discussed ways to work together to address regional and global challenges. During the meeting, Blinken reaffirmed that the warmth and ambition in the US-India relationship are at an unprecedented level.
Let me begin by thanking you for a great meeting between the Prime Minister and the President in Delaware, for a very, very good Quad meeting. I think it gave us an opportunity to take stock of the many areas where that mechanism has progressed. And I look forward to my discussions today. I think on the bilateral side, there's a lot that we've done since our last meeting. but there are global issues to discuss.
India plays on the global stage, working for peace, working for stability. This is a good opportunity for us to take stock of the many issues that we're working together.
India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal is also in the United States, and he attended the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum in Washington, D.C. Addressing that forum, the minister highlighted the strong trade and investment ties between India and the United States. He said that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India's economic growth offers unparalleled opportunities for global investors.
With the US, I think India today shares probably the best relationship that we've ever had between US and India since independence. Collectively, we are working on so many projects together that this natural partnership between two important democracies, where the rule of law prevails over everything else, in a way gives us an opportunity to aspire and think big in the future in all our businesses working in, say, the US and India. We offer an opportunity for businesses. Let's together make further progress in this relationship.
Earlier, Piyush Goyal met the Global Asset Management Group of the Janus Henderson investors, and they discussed potential collaboration to strengthen and diversify their presence in India across sectors like food processing, textiles, infrastructure, renewable energy and critical minerals, all poised for significant growth with robust support from the Modi government. He also had an engaging meeting with the founder, chairman and CEO of leading global digital infrastructure firm Tillman Global Holdings. Piyush Goyal told Sanjeev Ahuja that India's world-class digital infrastructure offers exciting investment opportunities, including in sustainable data centers. He said that with a skilled talent pool, India is nurturing innovation and enterprise to position itself as a leader in green technology and capabilities. Earlier, starting day 2 of his US visit, the Commerce Minister held a highly productive meeting with CEO and Senior Managing Director of the leading global investment firm BlackRock, Piyush Goyal and Robert Goldstein. They explored exciting collaboration opportunities to position India as a global leader. They also discussed how BlackRock's global expertise can be leveraged to significantly transform investment ecosystem in India to usher in greater ease of doing business for Indians. And around the world on sale, and that too, 2 women with no outside support, and you heard it right, continuing with the celebration of maritime skill and adventure. 2 Indian naval officers, women, are all set to conquer the rough seas of the world in 8 months. Now, Lieutenant Commander Rupa A and Lieutenant Commander Dilna K, they are embarking on an extraordinary expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Navika Sagar Parikrama 2 on board INSV Tarini. And the duo, they have been preparing for this expedition for the last 3 years. Vishal Barristo spoke to them.
I'm in the Arabian Sea. This is INSV Tarini, and it is all set to circumnavigate across the globe. And the 2 very brave and adventurous lady officers from Indian Navy, they are all set to take this boat across all the rough waters of the world. I have with me Lieutenant Commander Rupa and Lieutenant Commander Dilna. So how much preparations have gone in for this big day?
So we've been preparing for the last 3 years, and we've done various preparatory ocean sorties, including transatlantic sorties and transoceanic sorties. So we have planned this voyage with 4 stopovers, and during the stopovers our main goal is to prepare the boat for the next voyage and to load up with the fresh rations and fresh water.
So we'll be stopping in Fremantle, which is in Australia. The next stop will be in Littleton, which is in New Zealand, and third one will be in Port Stanley, which is in South America, and the 4th stop will be in Cape Town, which is in South Africa.
So how challenging would it be?
The main challenge which we'll be facing is rough weather, and same time where there are no winds. In equator, there'll be days where you can't even move. So, and when we go down south, it'll get colder and colder, and the sea will be rough, and it'll be continuous more than 40 knots as we go down south.
So as you move onwards Australia, how it is going to be very, very difficult. So are you prepared for that, and what are going to be the difficulties?
We're looking at a phenomenon called cold fronts, which is very prevalent in that particular southern latitudes. So there you have rough seas with huge waves and like 30 to 40 knots of wind, which is very consistent. We have been following the weather for some time because before the voyage, it's starting tomorrow. So we've been following weather near Australia. We've already been looking at how is the weather and how is it changing. So we have quite an idea, and we have done some passage planning, which we will be following during this voyage.
Mind the geopolitical situation, what kind of emotions are going through your mind?
It's a mix of lot of emotions. It's a last moment where we have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Since 3 years we have been continuously practicing or training for this. So we are happy, we are excited.
So there you heard these two brave ladies in uniform from Navy. They are all prepared for the big day, and yes, we also wish them a very good luck and hope this voyage, which is going to be first of its kind as far as India is concerned, is successful. With cameraman Ramakant in Goa, this is Vishal Beristo for DD India.
The former U.S. Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers says that India's economic future is very bright thanks to the fastest pace of growth momentum witnessed in the last 10 years. Summers, who is the President Emeritus of Harvard University, was at the Delhi School of Economics, where I caught up with him and briefly in the corridor, in fact. And he paints a bright picture for India's youthful population who can look forward to career spans of at least 50 years, he says, during which time India is going to grow 30 times. Professor Lawrence Summers is President Emeritus at Harvard University. He's been a chief economist at the World Bank. He served as the Treasury Secretary in the Clinton administration. He was also an economic advisor to the Obama administration. We are very privileged to catch up with him here at the Delhi School of Economics. Let's turn to him now. Professor Summers, you said that India could grow by, sixfold and then by 2047. What would be driving this growth?
Greater productive capacity that comes from capital accumulation, the application of ever more sophisticated technology, particularly information technology, and a labor force that's becoming increasingly skilled and capable in meeting the needs of the global economy.
How would you view the last 10 years of the government of India and the reforms that have been brought around?
I think it's been an extraordinarily strong period for India. It's been certainly probably the fastest decade of growth in Indian economic history. I think the greatest successes have been of energizing the economy with major public projects of various kinds. I think it's going to be important going forward to think about the tax and regulatory obstacles that hold back individual and corporate initiative, and to think about the process of economic reform.
You say that, India's a young country, and you were just talking about how the career span of the future is going to be about 50 years. So what do you think? I mean, what message are you giving to the young people of India?
I think that they're alive and launching on their careers at an extraordinarily exciting time. If India is able to grow at 7% a year for the next 5 decades, that would be an extraordinary thing in which the economy would grow more than 30 times over people's lifespans. And at the end of it, India would be very substantially richer than my country is today. And that would be a stunning achievement for a nation and bring stunning benefits to all its people.
Professor Summers, thank you very much for talking to us here in DDNA. Thank you, sir. Time now for the sports news, and the 9th edition of the T20 Women's Cricket World Cup is all set to kickstart from the 3rd of October. 10 teams are participating, 23 matches will be taking place. The T20 World Cup will be hosted by Dubai and Sharjah. Let's take a look at the pre-match preview. Here's more.
With an eye on Maiden World T20 trophy, Indian women's cricket team is all set for the 9th edition of the ICC T20 World Cup starting on October 3 in UAE. Led by Harmanpreet Kaur, the Indian team boasts of star players in their lineup: Smriti Mandhana, Jemimah Rodriguez and Renuka Thakur along others, adding to the firepower. India has seen a rather quiet build-up with no international matches for nearly 2 months before the showpiece event. The national team was last in action in the T20 Asia Cup final against Sri Lanka, but lost the marquee clash largely due to poor fielding and struggles against Spain. India arrived at its 15-member squad after months of significant tinkering. This involved workload management, motivated rotations, and trial and error with players of promise based on current form. The major problem for Indian women's team is that they have been unable to cross the final hurdle, be it the 2017 50-over World Cup or 2020 T20 World Cup final or 2022 Commonwealth Games final. Grouped alongside the White Ferns, defending champions Australia, reigning Asia Cup champion Sri Lanka and Pakistan, India will start their campaign under the lights on October 4 against New Zealand in Dubai. They then take on arch rivals Pakistan on October 6. They play Sri Lanka on October 9, while they last face Australia on October 13. India have participated in all 8 editions of the T20 World Cup but have never won the title. In 2009 and 2010, India was ousted in the semi-finals, while in 2012, 2014 and 2016, India could not go past the first round. In 2018 and 2023, India reached the semi-finals but could not go through to the final, and in 2020, India lost in the final. The women in blue have been among the better teams in recent times, but they are yet to lay their hands on the trophy. With tough competition ahead of them, India is set to go for glory and would want to clinch their maiden World Cup title. The wound of their semi-final exit in the 2023 edition is still fresh, and this year's tournament presents the perfect opportunity for retribution. If India can maintain composure and execute their plans effectively, this could finally be their year to lift the coveted T20 World Cup trophy. Sports Desk, DD India.
Will India continue to assert its top position in the ongoing cycle of the World Test Championship by fighting against the odds to complete a series sweep against Bangladesh? India continued to sit at the top of the with 8 wins at the top of the table on 11 matches. 98 points is what India has, with a percentage of 74.24%. Now, Australia and Sri Lanka remain the closest competitors to challenging India's dominance at the top. The baggy greens continue to breathe down India's neck in the second spot with 90 points in 12 matches, and their percentage point is 62.50. Well, that's all we have in this edition of the DD India News Hour. Thanks for watching. But for all of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app that's available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.